This is David White from Heathen, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
How are you, my
Here
friend?
I am. I'm okay.
Good to see you.
There you go. You too.
Running around this morning.
Yeah, when we met, we were in the happiest place in the world.
Yes. Busy as hell that day. Yeah, I think we were standing.
So what's going on?
Nothing at all. Just kind of playing
We're
around.
standing in the line in the office. We try to get our passes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, nothing going on here. Just working, podcasting, doing the same old thing. How about you? You guys are getting ready to go on the road, right?
Yeah, in June.
And that's
so we're just working out. What's that?
That's through Europe, right? Is that the first leg?
Yeah. We start off in Poland, and then we do a month. We're headlining and we're taking out Toxic.
Nice. And I saw you playing some crossover dates with Exodus as well, right?
Well, we're doing a month where we're headlining, and then we jump on the tour with Exodus and Testament.
Oh, nice.
And there's a bunch of festivals. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
That Testament. Testament with Dave back in is going to be really good too. I was pretty excited.
It's great, but I've only met Dave like once, so I don't know him. I know Gene, and I don't know Gene that well,
right? But
I do know him a little bit, and he's just the coolest. You know what I mean? He's just
Gene
super
cool,
mellow. Yeah. First time I met him, he's like, he's like, "Hey, Dave." I was like, this big guy, and I was like, wow, I can't believe you're so soft spoken,
Yeah.
But and I was really looking forward to hanging out with him more and getting to know him. So, but that's all good, get to know Dave this time,
Yeah, I have a really weird story about Dave. I mean, we were on 70,000 tons in Jamaica, and it was like a half an hour till the boat took off, and I was with my wife, and he was with his, I don't know, girlfriend, wife, significant other, whatever it was. And we needed to find Blue Mountain Jamaican coffee. And we were running around this little Jamaican village, the four of us trying to find like the best deal. And it just, as an old Slayer fan or an old, fan of the thrash scene, that was kind of a cool little thing.
Yeah. Well, and then everybody's trying to sell you weed on the street too.
Yes, you're right. Especially when they see the hair and the t-shirts and all that stuff. Yeah.
I was walking through because when I did 70,000 tons, when Heathen did, that was a Jamaica trip.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they did multiple Jamaica trips or if it was the same one, but because I don't, maybe not. But I was walking with Yop from my A&R guy from Nuclear Blast, and this guy kept coming up to me and said, "Hey, you want ganja? You want some ganja?" And I'm like, no.
Right.
And Yop's like, yeah, I don't do that. I'm like, you're Dutch. You don't smoke weed? He's like, right. No, I never touched it.
But even if you did,
so
in a foreign country is not the place to go doing something like that.
Well, yeah, but I'm like, I'm trying to be cool because it's like it's my new label.
Right.
And then the guy was so persistent, and then he goes, just smell it. And he put it in my nose, and I was like, okay, how much? He's like, just give me $30, and it was a big bag. I'm like, okay. And I kind of did it on the fly.
Nice.
And then I actually, it was too much weed. And then there was a friend that was on the cruise, and he was like, I've been looking for weed, man. I'm like, well, you came to the right person. I can split this bag with you.
Right.
And so I partied a little bit, out there, but then I partied on the boat, but then I made sure I got rid of all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got
because
I couldn't imagine.
I saw people getting escorted back, as they went through customs getting off the ship.
Right.
Being escorted back onto the ship, which was and I'm not going to name names, but they were the obvious suspects.
Right.
Who was probably trying to carry something back, So, but anyway, yeah. But so, yeah, when the last time we played the Key Club on the Destruction tour in the States, Dave came to the show.
Oh, nice.
And so that's where I got to meet Dave for the first time,
Well,
So
cool. So I know we're not here to talk about Dave. We're here to talk about Heathen. But so,
what?
so last record, Empire of the Blind was like smack dab just before this whole lockdown, right? Or right at the beginning of it. You've been sitting.
Well, it was. We finished it. We finished it before 2019 was over.
Okay.
And
It was released in like 20, right? So right around the time of the
yeah,
pandemic.
and it was supposed to come out in June 19th, actually specifically, and we were going to play Grass Pop Metal Meeting in Belgium
Right.
on, excuse me, on the, well, actually, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was June 19th, but we were actually going out in April. We were going to go out and tour, and then there was a break, and then we went back, and then we were going to start the second leg of the tour at Grass Pop, and that's when the release of the record was going to come out. So with everything, of course, we had to cancel everything.
Right.
And then they pushed the record because they had a problem with the factory where they actually press vinyl because of the COVID.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah. So with everything, it came out, I don't remember the exact date, but it was September.
So you've been sitting on this record then with no real support of it, right? I mean, you kind of just, it's out there, but it's kind of.
I wouldn't say no support. I mean, the label was our support system, and the fans, because the record did extremely well in a pandemic with no touring.
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we recouped the record in the first year.
Oh, sweet.
Which we've never done that before. And so, I mean, that just tells you, and I'm really curious, and we'll never know the answer, but how would it turned out had we toured? Like, would the result been better, or because we were in a pandemic, everybody was just listening more and really being more involved in all the new music that was coming out, you know what I mean? To get through it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that it's sad, but we live in such a, gimme, I need something new every day, society, that I think that the pandemic sort of forced everybody to slow the fuck down, and it's like, hey, and what's going to get you through your day but music? You know what I mean?
So I kind of agree with you, and then I kind of don't, because the music business sort of reinvented itself in that period of time too, right? Because to what you said, there's a new model of like singles every 6 weeks instead of a full length record like you guys did, right? I mean, a lot of bands are having to rethink the whole way going forward. Does that make sense?
No, and that's true. But I'm just saying that, even so, you're in a pandemic where
yes.
I think a lot of people whether you're getting new stuff, new content, and that, I think the reason that business model or whatever that way of thinking happened is because of the streaming services.
Yes.
Forced everybody to do that, because the streaming services they don't pay very well. So, the answer is like, well, I just got to get something new and then get more of this. And, and it's really, it kind of sucks. It's nice. I mean, I'm happy that we're on Spotify and Deezer and all the different ones, because it's good promotion. And I like the service personally, because there's things I'm like, I wonder if they have this record, or, even a comedy record that I haven't heard in forever and can't find. And I look it up, I'm like, holy shit, they've got it.
Right.
And I'm happy about that. I wish that they were more fair as far as how they pay out, It's not, but at the same time, it's just the way it is. But like, when I bought a new car, when I first moved here to Florida, and it doesn't even have a CD player or anything in it,
I know.
It's all about, satellite radio or, Bluetooth with your phone, and streaming. And then it took everything I could to find a CD player to just play CDs here at home. I bought a DVD player. I couldn't find a CD player.
Right. So I mean, you're old school like I am as well. I mean, I remember there was a whole process of like, waiting for a Tuesday when records used to come out. It'd be Tuesday. You'd save your money from whatever, your paper route or whatever, and go buy the full length, walk however long you had to walk, skip school, buy the record, and then go home. And it was a process of, artwork and reading the liner notes and listening to it back and forward and sequence the way you guys wanted it to sequence. Because that's a whole art form in itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of debate, within the group sometimes, as far as like how we're presenting that record, and how we put everything together, how it start to finish, and you want to have those peaks and valleys, and do you start off with a crusher, or do you
Right.
ease people into it? But it just depends on the vibe of the record. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely, at least for the guys that I've always worked with, it's always been an important part of the process.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has gotten lost in the shuffle. But what's it going to feel like to finally get out on the road and play shows and in a regular basis? And are you doing anything to prepare yourself differently for this?
Well, I'm not doing anything different to prepare. I'm doing what I normally do. Is I'm getting on the bike, and just what I mean, just training, just to be ready, because what we do is very physical, and I just we're going to be playing almost every night. I think the first month the dates are like back to back to back all the way through the tour,
Right.
and so just to stay healthy and all that, and but as far as what does it feel like, I don't know yet, because I'm a little bit concerned about what's going on with the current events globally, and I'm worried that that's going to maybe cause a problem. And
Yeah,
so
because you said you kick off in Poland, right? So you're going to be pretty damn close.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And so so it's just, you just never know. I mean, having to sit out 2 summers because of a pandemic, it's improbable. Could never have predicted that something like that. Oh, just, it's a pandemic and everybody's fucked.
Right. And then it keeps coming, right? So the pandemic, we start loosening up, and then you got this bullshit. So yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah. And it's, so I'm trying to stay positive. Things seem to be moving in a forward motion. And so I'm just, I'm just going to, keep locked and loaded on what I have to do to prepare, going over the tunes and all that kind of stuff, just to be ready, and hopefully everything will work out as planned. We'll see.
As a band, it's got to be pretty tough or precarious, even, because you've got to prep this stuff ahead of time, right? I mean, you've got to have the back lines, and you've got to have all the stuff in motion way before you get there. So there's still this whole unknown as well, right?
Well, yeah, and there's money involved.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You have to put down deposits for the bus and gear. I mean, we're still working it out to where we, like the first show's in Poland. So we have to work out just having a sound guy and gear just for that particular show, to make sure we have it, we're covered there, and then coming back over to like Germany and all that.
Right.
So there's a lot of logistics and things. Our guitar player, Craig Lum, is also our manager, and he's, going insane.
I imagine.
He's not even taking my calls. I'm like, why you're avoiding me? He's like, I'm so stressed out. He's like, I there's just, you just don't know. It's just, I'm like, I don't want to know. I said, and I said, but you know what you can do? I said, once the dust settles, just get on a plane and come see me,
right.
And take a week off here at the beach, because, we live close to the beach.
Right.
And, he's like, yeah, it'd be nice. So
I imagine once you get on stage and once those shows actually happen, the exchange of energy is going to be absolutely insane. Not just from you guys, but the fans in general, like me, have been dying to get to a show and, get into the pit and rage.
Oh my God. I know. I mean, they just had a big show in the Bay Area on Sunday. It was a day
I saw
show.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got the call to see if we wanted to do it, but it logistically and financially, it didn't make sense.
Right.
We've got our drummers in New York. One of our guitar players is in Arkansas. I'm here in Florida. You know, the other guys are in California, and it would have been like, oh, we'd have to fly in, we'd have to rehearse, because this current lineup has never played together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have a new bass player, new drummer, Jason Mirza and James D. Maria. And even when we recorded the record, I mean, I never saw Jim. Jim did his drum tracks early on. I saw Jay, me and Jay, you know, went together the first week, and I did vocal tracks and he did bass tracks. And then I went back like a month later with Lee, and I finished all the vocal tracks, and Lee did his stuff. So
are you gonna have a chance to get in the studio or in a rehearsal room to flesh it out, or is?
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to get everybody to come here.
Yeah.
I found a cool studio that's not too far. It's about a 30-minute drive. It's like it's a rehearsal place, but it's just one room. It's a sound. The guys put together like a sound stage.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a little pricey, but he has all the gear pretty much that we need. We only have to bring drums. That's it. And I have a drum set.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
So yeah, Jim will have to use the guy has a drum set, but it's like this little, you know, it's like a kid's kit.
Right.
Not gonna happen. But it's really close, and that way we can all come be together for a week or whatever and hit the beach and relax and eat good food and then go work and wake up and do it all again, you know. And
I don't know if this applies to you, but are there any sort of nerves or any sort of, I guess, anxiety leading up to finally being back out there after so long, or is it just like riding a bike?
No. I mean, like I said, my only anxiety is having the plug being pulled out, because we're, you know, about to be in World War III, you know?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I'm super, the adrenaline is just there. It's what I love to do. You know, I can't speak for everybody. I mean, I think that I know Jason's never done a big tour before.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's just freaking out. He just can't wait, you know, and we're just looking forward to being, you know, all together and doing it. And, you know, there's nothing like it.
And I imagine the Heathen show is probably going to be multi-generational, right? Because you're going to have people like myself from way back in the day bringing their kids or even grandkids or whatever to a show. It's going to be a whole different scene nowadays, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was, you know, when we toured for the last record, it was like that already. You know, when we put the band back together, we just had a demo. We were getting, you know, trying to get a record deal at the time. Right. And we went out in 2005 and we went to Europe, and a lot of fans helped us out, and Nuclear Assault helped us. We jumped on, and they did a bunch of dates, and they let us jump on the tour with them. I think we did like 10 or so, maybe 12 dates with them. And I met kids who were like, yeah, when your first record came out, you know, I was like 4 years old or something, you know. But you know, that's the cool thing. Like, metal has really transcended, and it's still going strong, you know. And it's awesome to see the kids, you know, and the new bands that are thrashing it up, and, you know, that are heavy as hell. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think we're going to see sort of a artistic renaissance, maybe not even just in music, but in art and everything, because everybody's been away for 2 years, like honing their craft and really getting their shit down and making really good stuff. And now that we're on the other side of it, I think it's going to be like this explosion of, like you said, really, really good bands and good music and even good paintings.
Oh yeah, I hope so. You know, I mean, I've been practicing my guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I've been, you know, this is where I'm sitting now. It's my music room, and I have drums and guitars and keyboards and all that stuff. And, you know, especially in the beginning of the whole pandemic, I mean, when we moved here, we didn't even have a TV, and we just like, yeah, it's okay. And I just would come in here and just play. And I had my iPad. I'm taking guitar courses just to keep learning and to just get better, even though it's not what I do, like with Heathen.
Right.
It helps me because I do other side projects and, you know, for songwriting.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep your chops up, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. And I play a lot of drums. And that's a great cardio.
Oh, yeah. Especially this kind of music. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. You know, I've been working on some of the new stuff. I can play Empire of the Blind pretty well now. I've got it
Really?
down. Yeah. But there's good little pockets of it where it's not just ultra fast. It's just got this really cool groove, a lot of technical double bass stuff, not just, fast stuff, but just, a lot of these shifting rhythms. And, but that's in my wheelhouse. I've been playing drums for a long time. So
all this time you've had down to practice and rehearse, do you have new Heathen stuff in the works, or is it too early?
Oh, of course we do.
Yeah.
We got a lot. We have a lot of stuff. And now it's a matter of sort of sifting through everything and pulling everybody's ideas together. It's just, it's similar to before the last record where it's, we're all in different places. That is the disconnect that I don't like. And we're trying our best to incorporate everybody's ideas and, make this really about the whole band. And where, Cragen wrote the entire record because I had some stuff, we had some stuff, but stuff just didn't get quite finished because we weren't all together. And Cragen just achieved and wrote an entire record.
Oh, wow.
And it was well, we could wait and hash ideas and all that, or we can take all these killer songs that he wrote and just go give it, we all give it our own thing. He wrote all the lyrics and everything. So I listened to everything and he actually sang on the demo because he even had melody ideas.
Oh, cool.
And so wherever, because I've been singing for a long time, there's little things here and there where it's well, I would do it this way.
Right.
It's not that it wasn't good your way. It's just, this is how I would do it.
Right. You got to put your touch on it.
Yeah. And that's how it went with everybody. And, bam, we got a record,
Nice. So I know we're running up on time here, but I know the European tour is already set in stone, hopefully. And you had any chance of coming to the States at all, or is that too early?
Well, I sure hope so. We're doing Europe, and then we have I think we have about a week. I don't know how many shows, but we're supposed to go to South America. We have a big festival in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. And I don't know, we'll see. I think it's really important to come to the States and do something. It's just a little quirky here.
Yeah.
And so I think, we've been talking about maybe even just figuring out where we can do some one-offs here and there.
Right.
Go to California, we could play Sacramento, we can play the Bay Area, we can play in LA, maybe, and just so basically hit major cities, and then if we can get some other, places to play, it just has to make sense. You don't want to go out there and lose money. You want to be able to make money and travel comfortably enough to do it. So
thank you for taking the time,
really
my friend.
Delicious podcast, and I'm hungry. So,
there you go. It's lunchtime. I appreciate you taking the time. It was good seeing you again, my friend.
You too. Stay in touch, okay?
Yeah, I'm hoping to see you sometime here in the States or at one of these festivals or somewhere.
Well, now I forgot where you hail.
I'm in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, Richmond, Virginia. Oh, you're not far.
No, I was hoping you guys would be at Death Fest or something, the Maryland Death Fest.
Yeah, well, we'll get it together. We'll get it together here in the States. We need to get out and you know what I mean, make a sort of get people talking about what we're doing and and crush this new record. I almost want to tell Craig, it's let's just go out and play only Empire of the Blind. Just play that record. And maybe a few classics, on our headline show, but just play that whole record. And that's only just because we've played all these other songs for so many times,
I get it.
But anyway.
Anyway, be safe. Good luck on the tour. And we'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, be well.